Hello everyone, my name is Chang. I am the CEO and co-founder at Fieldguide. I'm here with my colleague, Phil Del Bello, our head of solutions, to be sharing with you all what we're seeing to revolutionize PCI DSS assessments and rocks with AI. We know there's a ton of talk and hype around how to incorporate AI, and we have such a great privilege at Fieldguide to be seeing what the best QSAs are doing in the market to bring practical applications to AI. Today we'll be going through some just brief introductions of me and Phil. We'll go through some industry challenges that we're seeing in the market. And then Phil will go through what we're seeing from AI time savings and real practical applications of incorporating AI into your practice. And we can wrap up with some next steps around how to access more resources around the application of AI in QSAs, in PCI reports. As mentioned, my name is Chang. I'm the CEO and co-founder. I am a former practitioner myself. I started my career at Ernst & Young, one of the big four CPA firms, where I practiced across risk and compliance, assurance, and advisory. With Fieldguide, I'm basically teaming up with other ex-practitioners turned software builders to build the platform we wished we had. And we hope that when you see our platform too, you will feel the same way.
And I'm Phil Del Bello, head of solutions here at Fieldguide. I also am an ex-practitioner. I spent about 13 years in the industry working on all sorts of different security and compliance engagements with my clients. I also was a user of the Fieldguide platform, so that's how I got to know the team here and ended up joining. I lead our implementation services as well as our other solution services within the company.
Now, a little bit about Fieldguide. We are a fairly new company in the market. We've been on the market for just over 4 years, but already seeing incredible traction and market reception. Some of the things that we're very proud of is the fact that 100% of our customers have stayed with Fieldguide in our journey, meaning we're delivering value on a sustained basis. We're also delivering Net Promoter Score of 80, which is better than Apple and Amazon. And then, of course, the thing that we care a lot about is helping QSAs deliver excellent service to your clients. So what we take a lot of pride in is the fact that our client satisfaction, so what your clients might rate the Fieldguide experience, is a 4.9 out of 5. Now, what are we seeing in the results? We are typically hearing from QSA firms that they're saving anywhere from 35 to 50% of hours in a given assessment and ROC. We do that with a mix of traditional workflow automation techniques, but also AI, machine learning, and data science to help streamline, but also increase accuracy of your assessments. While we've been on the market for just a few years, we're already working with many top firms, including 43 of the top 100 CPA firms, as well as other QSA-specific firms out there that are performing many assessments and ROCs. And we are a 7-time winner, actually. This 6th time has been recently updated. 7-time innovation winner with many industry publications. Now, what is the big purpose behind the Fieldguide story? We are dedicated to helping the practitioner market continue to succeed through what we all know is a growing talent shortage. While there are growing needs in security and compliance services, including PCI, among others, the supply of practitioners isn't quite keeping up. So the writing is on the wall for many of us. How do we help equip our practitioners to do more and service our clients at the best ability, even when we have a talent shortage? And this is the big purpose behind what Fieldguide is building for. Now, as mentioned previously, we have the great privilege of seeing what some of the best QSA firms out there are employing in their practice. So, because we're able to witness some of these and work closely with QSA firms, and by the way, if you work with Fieldguide, you would work with directly with one of our experts like Phil. We see some really practical use cases. We all know that in the assessment and ROC process, there are some repetitive tasks that can be automated with automation and AI. We are also seeing firms employing AI to generate content faster. and also dive into data analysis and perform risk assessments in just a few clicks. Some of the other use cases that we're starting to see are document reviews, deeper policy analysis, annotation of pieces of evidence. So beyond kind of the PCI scope, looking at controls holistically across many compliance efforts, Fieldguide is seeing some of the latest practical applications of AI. Now, I'll hand things off to Phil to go into the real use cases that we're seeing. And again, if you were to work with us, you would work with one of our experts like Phil.
Thanks, Jen. So before we dive into some of the use cases, we're going to kind of just take a look at what we're seeing across our customer base for some of the efficiencies that they're gaining by leveraging AI across their assessments. And AI has a ton of value. Today we'll focus on really efficiencies within time savings as well as some of the quality that it can help drive. So there's a few different kind of specific use cases here that we're tracking across customers and getting feedback from them. Everything from being able to save 75% of the time that it takes to consolidate your notes from different interviews and walkthroughs that you're performing throughout the assessments and summarizing them together in a consistent manner, to writing up requests for documentation to be able to get the information that you need more accurately and more efficiently, helping your clients understand that as well. So AI can be leveraged to create efficiency across all those different types of use cases that we're outlining here. And they all kind of have some little bit of a different efficiency metric that we're tracking and seeing, but across the board, it's really adding a ton of value. So there's 4 specific use cases that we're going to talk about today when it comes to leveraging AI for a PCI assessment. And these are use cases that we chose just to dive into a little bit more because they're often repetitive throughout different phases of the engagement. And as you're going through testing the various requirements within the DSS, you may be using these over and over. Also, we wanted to make sure to address the quality aspect. So we're going to dive into the quality assurance and how AI can actually be used to improve quality within the assessments. First case that we'll dive into is going to be consolidating notes and summarizing interviews. Second, we'll look at more documentation analysis and how it can be used to actually review and help with documentation. The third will be sampling and data comparison, so looking at 2 different documents maybe together. And then, like I mentioned, quality assurance and alignment checks. For consolidating and summarizing interview notes, we've seen AI is very, very good at taking everything from a rough transcript of a recorded meeting to outline of notes that maybe multiple team members have taken together, but consolidated those together at first, loaded it into the AI, and have the AI look at everything in across the different formats of notes that are taken and summarize it in a succinct manner so that it can be used directly in the ROC in order to document those interviews that occurred. It's also great at just pulling out pieces of information, follow-up actions, questions maybe that didn't get addressed or answered during the conversation in order to really kind of have a summary of action items from that meeting. And then I think the accuracy and consistency across the documentation piece is really important here too. So no matter who took the notes or who was involved with the meeting, AI can be set to have certain parameters to make sure that it's including certain information in order to document the interview consistently. So when it is put into the ROC, it's actually presents itself in a much more kind of professional and improved quality within that section of the document itself. All right, so next we'll get into more of the documentation. And this is where it gets really interesting. AI is able to actually analyze and review various different file types. So it's not just good at reading like a policy document or notes or a summary and summarizing things like that or reviewing paragraphs, but we found a lot of really good use cases for AI at analyzing Excel documents or being able to do a much better job at OCRing and understanding screenshots. It's able to actually identify content on the screenshot and help to analyze it much better than a typical OCR would, and even faster than a human would be able to kind of go through that. The Excel analysis has been really powerful as well, from everything from system inventories to complex configuration extracts such as CSV files from different file systems. It's able to actually review that, understand the data, and apply context around it. So even junior team members could use the AI to say, just what is this document? Where did this data come from? And it has the context to be able to actually answer those questions faster than they would if they had to kind of reach out to a more senior person on the team to get the answers. So outside of just summarizing documents or system evidence or really anything along those lines that you're getting from clients to actually test the requirements, we are seeing that it's actually leveling up junior team members faster because they're able to ask the AI the question, get instant feedback, ask follow-up questions about the documents, and it has really good context and it's able to understand documentation really from any phase of the engagement across multiple different systems that your clients may be using. All right, the next one that we'll talk about is going to be related to sampling. And this is taking kind of that document analysis to the next level. So having sampling and being able to use AI in the context of sampling builds on what we're seeing around document analysis, where it's able to have the context of the document. Also, when it comes to sampling, if there are specific procedures that need to be performed related to different sample sets, we're seeing it be really helpful to have AI contextually aware, so you don't have to necessarily point or copy in the requirement that you're testing or the control you're testing, or copy over the test procedure and give it that context. Using a platform where that AI is contextually aware of where you are, what you're trying to test, makes that a lot more efficient as well. And so when it comes to sampling, being contextually aware of the test procedure you need to perform, as well as the documentation that you need to test, really can drive consistency and quality within the engagements. So we're seeing the application of AI when it comes to sampling. It's able to actually review multiple documents that may be different sample sets or from different systems, and then apply that same test procedure consistently and highlight and pull out findings or any issues much faster. That makes it much better experience for your team as well as for the clients. You never want to end an assessment and have surprises and have a finding kind of pop out because you just got to testing. When you're using AI and it comes to something like that's complicated like sampling, where you have to go through 20 documents or hundreds of documents, it can do the initial assessment for you and pull out those high-risk items so that the team can follow back up, check in with the client, make sure they're aware, see if there's any remediation or action plans they've already put in place related to it, and just make it a much better and more efficient experience overall. The other application that we're seeing is when it comes to actually being able to use AI in a more agentic manner where it's actually taking action on the documents. And for this type of use case, we're seeing just the fact that AI can actually go through and highlight on a document be super powerful for assessors. So AI being contextually aware and then applying that context consistently across like a sample set and pulling out the consistent information that it's finding and pointing to that and actually highlighting and annotating a document makes it much faster for the team instead of having to scroll through and find the information themselves or try and match keywords and search for certain keywords. Agentic AI now is actually able to edit and modify that document by highlighting it so that the team can just click a button and jump down to see exactly the information that they need to come up with the conclusion for the test procedure. So that's been really powerful and I think really exciting to see once we start applying tools and giving kind of the AI some tools to be able to do more than just write a summary or be kind of a chat interface with the documents and with the information to perform the assessment. So excited to see where that goes and what some of the other tools are that AI is able to leverage to help when it comes to things like sampling or maybe even directly with some of the interview observation or more technical configuration evidence that you would be testing within a PCI assessment. I think the other thing that's really helpful when it comes to sampling is also kind of similar to just summarizing documents, summarizing interview notes, but actually being able to take multiple documents and summarize them together for the consolidated ROC tables. That's been a huge time saver where I know some assessors have spent countless hours kind of writing up sample sets and having to pull them together in order to document them appropriately within the ROC. Having AI go through all the documents and write that sample summary for you can just save us a ton of time, and it also can be more accurate. I think when a human is doing that and they're kind of going through and reviewing tons of documents or even testing samples, there's always that room for error. And I know when I was going through sample sets as a practitioner myself, it would be kind of tough to make sure that you're staying focused, looking for the right thing over and over across multiple documents. And leveraging AI to do that for you is just kind of a game changer. So let's jump to our fourth and final use case here, quality assurance and alignment checks. I think that this is something that is often not thought about when it comes to an AI use case, where we want to make sure that we have humans in the loop to do the quality review, because we can't necessarily trust or verify, or we don't want to trust or verify trust the AI information just yet. However, AI can definitely assist to make the quality and the QA review process also more efficient. Not something, again, that would replace it, just something that's an additional tool, just like it serves for the team actually doing the testing and the boots on the ground for the fieldwork phase of it. AI can definitely assist when it comes to QA review. One thing that AI is really good at is actually aligning different points of data and just making sure that they're consistent. So going through a specific requirement, looking at all the testing procedures, the results that were documented, the documentation that was used, and ensuring that things are just consistent across the board is a great AI use case that we're seeing a lot of our customers start to roll out. And this is really good because it just kind of can do that first pass, similar to with sampling, having it highlight and emphasize the areas of risk that we need to focus on and actually drill into more first, so that we can get that out of the way. When it comes to a QA review, it can do the same thing. It can highlight maybe a section that was missed or left blank, or that was not updated for the current year, or maybe just the wrong result was checked off by mistake, but the overall result was written up in a way where it actually was, the requirement control was in place, but maybe it was just missed and it was accidentally checked off as not applicable. AI can identify those discrepancies and inconsistencies very quickly, and it's very kind of powerful and helpful to make the QA process more efficient by doing that. I think that comprehensive report review is another area. So just like we use AI to do document analysis of evidence within the work papers, AI can actually also do kind of full comprehensive draft report review for things like maybe just areas where we could improve our writing, or areas that are inconsistent, or where there's discrepancies noted or missing information. It can be a lot more accurate compared to a human kind of going through and reviewing hundreds of pages of a report on their own. So a couple use cases here that we went through today, just to kind of summarize them, and some of the takeaways. Definitely driving efficiency is really a really powerful value add that AI can provide and that we're seeing across the industry. Quality is definitely a factor that doesn't get considered enough, I think, and there's a lot more use cases when it comes to quality reviews that we are seeing, but just wanted to touch on them briefly today. And then improve client service. Obviously, we want to make sure that if we are having a more efficient process, we're not sacrificing client service, and we're actually doing that in a way where we're improving client service and driving the value to them as well. So they're getting their reports faster, they're aware of any issues or high-risk areas sooner, and it's just a better experience for everybody. All right, well that is it for the use cases. Jin, I'll pass it back to you to wrap us up.
Thanks, Phil. As you can see, we just walked through a number of practical AI examples that our QSA firms in the Fieldguide network are employing. These are just a few of many use cases that we're seeing, but we did want to distill this down to very practical lessons. We are at the forefront of incorporating AI into QSA PCI practices, and if you're an innovative practitioner looking to trade notes and network with other innovative QSAs, we're always looking to build our network and engage professionals like you. So do feel free to reach out. We look forward to connecting with you soon.